have you ever stopped to think, I mean, really think, what it would take for a whole community to secretly practice their faith? We're talking centuries, right under the nose of, well, a pretty ruthless Inquisition.
It sounds like fiction almost.
Doesn't it? Imagine the daily risks, the hidden traditions, the sheer incredible resilience needed just to keep an ancient heritage alive.
Yeah, it's quite something to contemplate.
Well, today we're diving deep into that very real story. It's fascinating, often tragic, but ultimately incredible. We're talking about the crypto-Jews of Portugal.
Also known by other historical terms like Marranos or Conversos.
Exactly. And
Right.
we're going to unpack their origins, look at the ingenious ways they managed to survive, their lasting legacy, and how this hidden history still kind of echoes through Portugal today. Our mission really is to try and understand the huge impact of forced conversions and just the determination of a community holding on to its identity against, well, overwhelming odds.
And we've got some great sources for this, historical accounts, modern insights. It paints a really vivid picture.
It really does. So let's set the scene. To get the story of the crypto-Jews, you have to go back, way back.
Right. Jewish presence in Iberia, the peninsula, it predates Portugal itself as a nation.
We're talking ancient roots. Records mention Jewish communities as early as 482 CE, probably even earlier, Roman times.
Yeah, a long, long history there.
Yeah.
And importantly, it wasn't always persecution. There were periods where Portuguese Jews really thrived.
Thrived how?
Well, they contributed significantly to national life, to culture. You have figures like Yahya, King Afonso. I made him a supervisor of tax collection.
Okay.
Or Jose ibn Yahya, who became high steward of the realm under King Sancho I. So for a good while, they were generally tolerated, even protected, integrated into society.
So a kind of golden age, relatively speaking.
You could say that, yeah.
But then things shifted dramatically. The late 1490s. What happened? What ended that relative peace?
It wasn't just internal Portuguese politics. The big catalyst came from next door Spain.
Ah, the Alhambra Decree, 1492.
Exactly. That decree gave Spanish Jews a terrible choice. Convert to Christianity or get out. Leave Spain entirely.
And Spain's influence was strong enough to push Portugal in the same direction.
Very much so. The pressure was immense. Portugal followed suit, presenting its Jewish community with basically the same brutal ultimatum.
Convert by October 1497 or leave Portugal forever.
That was it. A stark choice.
So what did people do? I mean, faced with that.
Well, the community fractured, really. Thousands chose exile. They left, heading for places seen as more tolerant Northern Europe, across the Mediterranean. Ottoman Empire, for instance.
But many stayed.
Yeah.
And they converted, at least outwardly. These are the Conversos.
Precisely. They accepted conversion into the Roman Catholic Church. And this is where the story gets really complex and, frankly, quite gripping. Because for many, this conversion was purely for show.
Just pretend conversion.
That's the core of the crypto-Jew story. These new conversos, as they were sometimes called, they went through the motions, attended church, took part in Catholic rituals publicly.
But secretly.
Secretly, they held on to Judaism, practicing ancient rituals, saying prayers, observing holidays, all behind closed doors, in constant fear of discovery.
And discovery meant facing the Inquisition, which, as our sources stress, was everywhere.
Yeah.
Ruthless, determined to find anyone practicing Judaism in secret.
Absolutely omnipresent. The risk was immense, daily. Just lighting Shabbat candles, for example, had to be done in extreme secrecy, maybe hidden deep inside the house.
How did they even pass things down? Prayers, traditions, especially over generations under that kind of threat.
Incredible ingenuity. A lot was passed down orally. Mother to daughter often played a key role, especially with domestic rituals. Memorized prayers, subtle adaptations of customs to make them look vaguely Christian.
Wow.
It was a whole hidden culture operating beneath the surface. And what's also fascinating, and maybe less known, is their wider impact.
Impact beyond just survival.
Yeah. Think about the Age of Discovery. Portugal's voyages, crypto-Jews, often with existing international trade connections and navigational knowledge, played a significant, though often hidden, role. Financing expeditions, providing expertise.
Really, so they were involved in exploring the New World.
Involved, yes. And later, as some were able to emigrate again, they were instrumental in setting up important Jewish communities in places like Amsterdam, London, Hamburg, hubs of trade, and eventually open Jewish life.
That's a side of the story you don't often hear, this hidden influence.
It's a really important thread.
And this hidden life, this ingenuity, it becomes really vivid when you look at specific places, right? Like Belmonte.
Belmonte is extraordinary. It's a town up in the hills, maybe 150 miles or so from Lisbon.
And they kept their Jewish traditions going, unbroken.
Unbroken for centuries. There's evidence of a Jewish community there way back in 1297. They managed it through intense secrecy, community discipline, and, well, some clever tricks.
Tricks? Like what?
Well, the famous example is the sausages.
Sausages.
Yeah, pork is forbidden in Judaism. And pork sausages, chorizos, were common locally, so the crypto-Jews of Belmonte would make sausages from chicken or other fowl and hang them up to dry in their windows, just like their neighbors did with the pork ones. A visual deception, blending in.
That's brilliant. Simple, but effective.
Exactly. Small deceptions like that allow them to survive generation after generation undetected.
Until when? How did their secret finally come out?
Not until 1914, and purely by accident.
No way.
Yeah. There was a Polish Jewish mining engineer working nearby, Samuel Schwartz. He somehow stumbled upon them, maybe heard whispers, noticed inconsistencies. He gained their trust, and they eventually revealed their secret heritage to him.
Imagine that moment, after centuries in hiding. The relief, maybe the fear, too.
Must have been overwhelming, their emergence from the shadows. And today, Belmonte has seen this incredible revival.
Tell me about that.
Well, they built a proper synagogue, Bet Eliyahu, in the 1990s. It serves maybe up to 300 local worshipers now, plus visitors. It's a vibrant center.
A real symbol of endurance.
Absolutely. And there's also Portugal's first Jewish museum right there in Belmonte.
What kind of things does it show?
Artifacts, personal stories, explanations of the unique rituals they developed in secret. It really gives you a deep insight into this specific Portuguese Jewish tradition. It's not just history, it feels alive.
Amazing. And Belmonte isn't the only place like this, is it? There's Trancoso, too.
Right, Trancoso, another hilltop town not far from Belmonte, about 30 miles north, also has a very rich and, again, quite tragic Jewish history.
Anything particularly notable about Trancoso?
Well, it was the birthplace of Isaac Cardoso.
Ah, the philosopher.
The very same. Famous Sephardic philosopher, writer, physician, born in Trancoso. And today they have the Isaac Cardoso Jewish Interpretation Center there.
Doing similar work to the museum in Belmonte. Preserving the culture.
Exactly. Preserving the crypto-Jewish heritage. It even includes a modern synagogue space. And like Belmonte, the evidence of secret lives is literally carved into the town.
Carved out.
Hundreds of small engravings, secret marks found on the old stone houses in the Jewish quarter, crosses that might subtly incorporate Jewish symbols, things like that, visible signs of that delicate balancing act.
Outwardly Christian, inwardly Jewish.
Precisely. But, we have to remember the cost. Not everyone managed to maintain that balance or escape the Inquisition.
Right. The danger was always real.
Terribly real. In Trancoso, there's a Jewish memorial garden. It commemorates something like 700 local victims of persecution.
700.
Just from that area.
Yeah. It's a quiet place for reflection, a reminder of the immense suffering.
So despite that suffering, despite the Inquisition, many did survive. They outwitted it, outlived it.
They did. And their descendants today in the 21st century are not just surviving, they're thriving. There's this powerful reconnection happening for many.
My connection to Judaism.
To Judaism, or to their Jewish heritage, yeah. And this leads to something really quite astonishing that modern science has revealed.
DNA studies. Genetic research estimates that around 20%, 1/5 of the modern Portuguese population has some Jewish ancestry.
20%.
Seriously. Think about that. 1 in 5 people you might see walking down the street in Lisbon or Porto could be partly descended from these crypto-Jews.
Wow. That just shows the sheer scale of the forced conversions, doesn't it?
It absolutely underscores the scale and the depth of this hidden history woven into the fabric of modern Portugal.
So what does the Jewish community look like today in Portugal? You mentioned reconnection.
It's relatively small compared to history, but vibrant. Over 3,000 people, mainly centered around Lisbon. It's well-established, welcoming, and yes, you see descendants of crypto-Jewish families exploring their roots, some formally converting, others just embracing the heritage. It's quite moving.
And beyond the sort of religious and genetic legacy, what about culture? Did anything else survive those centuries of secrecy?
Oh, definitely. Food.
Ah, of course. The kitchen is often the heart of cultural preservation, isn't it?
Especially in this context. Crypto-Jewish women were absolutely crucial. They preserved traditional cooking methods, adapted recipes, kept the culinary heritage alive, often under the guise of local Portuguese cooking.
So what kind of dishes are we talking about?
Well, you see this wonderful blend of Sephardi traditions with Portuguese ingredients, often with influences from North Africa and the Mediterranean. Think slow-cooked Sabbath meals designed to avoid cooking on Shabbat itself.
Like Koland.
Exactly like kolet. Dishes like arafina, which is a rich, slow-cooked stew, often with meat, chickpeas, vegetables, or ropa vieja, which translates as old clothes, a spicy shredded beef dish, often served with hamon, those slow-cooked eggs that turn brownish and creamy.
Sounds delicious.
Right, comfort.
Perfect for a long Sabbath.
Perfect. And given Portugal's coastline, fish was important too. Jewish communities often prepared fried fish, which could be eaten cold on Shabbat, another adaptation.
Clever. Any other examples?
Sure. Things like samousak, savory stuffed pastries, various fruit preserves and dishes. And for Passover, pan de espana, which is a kind of light sponge cake often made with matzo meal. These recipes are like edible history lessons.
They really are. It's another layer of survival and identity.
Definitely. And, Portugal today is a fantastic place to visit. Beautiful country, beaches, amazing history, 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
And you can actually go and explore this specific Jewish history firsthand.
Absolutely. Visit Belmonte, Trincoso, Lisbon's old Alfama district, see the museums, the synagogues, the subtle marks on old buildings. And it's a great starting point if you want to explore the wider Sephardic world too, maybe combine it with trips to Spain or Morocco.
So bringing this all together,
Yeah.
what's the main takeaway? Why does this story matter now?
For me, it's fundamentally about resilience, the sheer power of the human spirit of faith, the determination to hold on to who you are, even when everything is pushing against you.
Yeah, that really comes through.
And it shows that history isn't always what's written in the main textbooks. Sometimes the most powerful stories are the hidden ones.
In places like Belmonte and Trancoso, they aren't just historical sites, are they? They're living proof.
Exactly, living testaments to survival. Ancient traditions weren't just preserved, they've been reignited. They're alive today.
Which connects to that genetic legacy too. The past, even a hidden past, is still profoundly shaping the present. That 20% figure is just mind-blowing.
It makes you realize how intertwined we all are, how much history flows beneath the surface.
We've certainly been on quite a journey today, through centuries of hidden history, uncovering this really incredible story of Portugal's crypto-Jews.
From that golden age, through the terror of forced conversion and the Inquisition.
And the secret rituals in those hidden villages, and now this vibrant modern revival. It really is a saga of endurance.
A testament to the importance of identity, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And, thinking about all this, it leaves me with a question. Well, it's such a significant part of a culture, a whole community's identity.
Yeah.
Could go underground for centuries, adapt, survive, and then re-emerge. What other hidden histories might be out there?
Beneath the surface of our modern world.
Yeah, waiting to be uncovered. And maybe, just maybe, secretly shaping who we are today in ways we don't even realize. Just think about the layers of history all around us, often just out of sight.